welcome to my channel. Okay, so this is my very first YouTube video on my very first YouTube channel. I apologize if it looks that way. I'm not sure if it will, but I don't know, you know, I can only pray. In a perfect world, aka in my head, like I would be that homegirl slash mom friend that you just met, you know, that like you maybe met at work, you bumped into in line at Victoria's Secret or something like that. And you like really excited to come home, you tell your husband about it and all that. And then you all start hanging out strong, you got you a new like real friend. And then you do something that's like supposed to be embarrassing in front of her, or like under normal circumstances would be, and she hits you with, girl, please, I do that shit all the time. I want to be that homegirl to y'all on this channel. Stick with me until the end, and I promise to at least make you think about hitting that subscribe button and seeing what other content and shenanigans I have for y'all to come. Now that the awkward channel intro is finally out of the way, we can jump right into what I want to share with you guys in this video, which is why I decided to create a YouTube like after everybody and their granddaddy and created one. But yes, this is why I decided to create a YouTube channel in 2020. Okay, so the first big thing that pushed me toward finally starting a YouTube channel, which is something I had been kind of flirting with the idea of for the last couple of years. Yeah, I know that long. This thing really pushed me to want to finally do it, which is to like connect with new and dynamic people and just to grow outside of my comfort zone. I've always been kind of like an introverted extrovert, so I would be in some scenarios, if I was more uncomfortable, of course, who's not a little awkward and you know, really like gravitating to and connecting with people, but it's just being home more, watching news from around the world on YouTube, like just seeing the struggles of different people, connecting with people's stories, and like I feel like I'm just a lot more empathetic to other dynamics of people and individuals that I just never really connected with before. This has definitely been like a year of enlightenment for me as far as learning about others and kind of realizing that we all feel the same pains, a lot of the same pains and struggles and everything. So I just really was like, what better way to start to really connect with people and possibly impact people, make somebody feel special, make somebody smile. What better way to get that positive energy out to people and to draw it in and then just grow from it, right? Other than to start my own YouTube channel. So that is that's the first big reason that I chose to start my YouTube channel. The motivating factor for finally going ahead, biting the bullet and jumping on starting my own YouTube channel in 2020 is the fact that I felt like it would be kind of therapeutic for my anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed with an underlying anxiety disorder at the beginning of this year, and unfortunately that came with a little bit of depression too. But even after diagnosis, it took a while for me to accept the fact that, like, Jasmine, like, girl, you've neglected your mental health so much that you've like given yourself a whole illness. That was like low-key hard for me to accept, but once I did accept that, girl, all that stuff you've been doing that you thought was like okay, that you thought was acceptable, that you thought you can maintain, it's all accumulated and added up to get you to this point. So you just gotta own it, sis, you know? So once I accepted that, I was able to kind of like assess where I was and slowly start to dig myself out of it. One major part of the digging out effort was reestablishing like connections with people. Anybody who's ever suffered from anxiety or depression or, you know, any type of mental illness that you feel like you might have to over explain to people or that people might not necessarily understand, you tend to kind of be turned off about that, and it kind of puts you in like a withdrawn, isolated kind of funk. Like you start to just back away from social interactions in a sense. At least that was the case for me in my situation. What better way to aid in those efforts of getting out of like social withdrawal or isolation than to start a YouTube channel and connect with some dope ass people, like new dope ass people around the world, right? Another huge thing that contributed to me finally starting my YouTube channel this year of all years is the fact that I am like embarking on this whole journey at the beginning of next year that I've started to delve into researching more and just becoming more familiar with prior to, of course, starting that, like any project, right? Or any journey. So I, kind of dove into that, and I started doing research and like just kind of reading different people's experiences, what different people are looking for. And I realized there is like a limited amount of information on what I'm actually looking for. I have decided to bless myself with with some cosmetic surgery. I will be having a BBL, a Brazilian butt lift with Lipo 360 on January 29th of next year. And I'm a researcher. I'm a thorough researcher. Like if I'm gonna do something, especially something that's kind of triggering to my anxiety that I'm really nervous about, I will do as much research as I can and like just try to prepare myself for that in advance as well as I possibly can. I actually decided to document my BBL journey from all the way from me first deciding to go through with scheduling the surgery all the way up through post-op care, results, milestones, etc. Sorry, y'all, my kiddo's yelling in the background. Since I was having trouble finding some specific things that I wanted to look for with regard to preparing for the surgery, deciding what you actually want, because unlike a lot of other women, I didn't know exactly what I wanted. Well, I knew some of what I wanted, but I didn't know like the terms to be able to articulate that to the doctor and into what would translate into the result that I wanted physically. Once I couldn't find that, I was having trouble just finding, like I'm such an, and I don't want to say anal, such a meticulous person, like especially when doing research on things that I'm serious things, like something as serious as surgery. There's like fine details that I like really want to know ahead of time so I can know how I can prepare, right? I decided to document that journey from my dynamic, 32 years old, woman of color, mother, wife, things that I am nervous about dealing with, like closer to when my when the rest of my family actually accepts the fact that I'm serious about doing it. How individuals, like colleagues that I work with or that I communicate with, how they might react to what they obviously see has changed or has occurred. How I feel about dealing with everyday reactions and things like that following having my BBL surgery. Another big motivating factor for me creating this channel absolutely was being what I needed while I was researching for the procedure, being that to someone else and just being helpful, being able to bless somebody with peace of mind with the information I provide that's like gonna warm up my little heart. To piggyback off of my prior reason for starting my YouTube channel this year, in documenting my BBL surgery journey, I wanted to bear in mind that I wanted to be to someone what I was looking for at the beginning of my research. I figured why not share that with some other women who may, just make the journey a little bit easier for somebody, because it could be very, very overwhelming. Like if when you're first starting out and you're first getting familiar with the risks and with the different options for procedures and the various doctors, not even including the scary stuff that you come across in becoming more informed about it and trying to make an educated decision on whether or not you want to pursue that. In doing research on the BBL procedure, I realized that there's some deep, thorough questions that I had preparing for the procedure, different methods to use during recovery to enhance my results. There's some things that I struggled to find more detailed information on. And my my nerves are too bad to, wait until my pre-op appointment to just ask my doctor like the zillions of questions that I will likely have accumulated by that point. So I made it a personal mission to do a deep dive into some aspects of the surgery that I actually had a difficult time digging up information about, or I found conflicting resources about. I decided to do a deep dive into those things so that I could, one, just be as informed as possible about the decision that I was making, because it is a big one. So just to be more informed and confident in the decision that I was making for myself, and two, so that I could just house this plethora of information to share with you, beautiful people, should you need it in researching your surgery journey, or a friend's surgery journey, or hell, your neighbor's surgery journey, whatever. I wanted to do the legwork for you guys so somebody doesn't have to go through what I went through when I was doing that research from scratch. Right, so the fifth and final major reason that I decided to go ahead and start my YouTube channel this year is that, contrary to what I believe, contrary to what I believe now, I've been told that I have great insight and encouragement and motivation and just information that I can offer people. And I had been, I guess, kind of underestimating myself and how much of a resource or how helpful I could be to somebody else. I was like, you know what? What if I started seeing myself as dope as everybody else around me, or many people around me do? I can have at times what I've coined as toxic humility, which is just being so humble that you kind of diminish yourself a little bit, that you kind of sell yourself short on a lot of opportunities, a lot of situations, just bigging yourself up. Like, you sell yourself short on a lot of that, and that, to me, I call that toxic humility. But I realized that I was like that. I feel like I've learned so much in the last 5 to 6 years of my life that I would be doing other people a disservice, to not share those experiences, share some of those successes and failures. I read a quote the other day, and it was very simple and to the point, and it said, never underestimate a story that you can share. I decided to say, okay, well, let me take this quote to heart. Let me go ahead and just put myself out there, throw some stuff out there, the stuff that runs around in my head and causes me anxiety. Let me put some of that out there to people and just see if they like it or whatever, So I'm hoping to just make some kind of minuscule, positive, hopefully major, but I'll take minuscule too, impact on you guys' lives, whether it be to make you feel better, make you feel like you the shit that day, feel like you could take the world, you could conquer stuff, feel like you're not the only 32-year-old adult Black woman that runs into some of the silly shit that we encounter every day. I just want to let y'all know that y'all not alone. I'm experiencing some of the same clumsy stumbles through life, and some of the wins, some of the L's. I'm excited just for the journey that it can offer me. That's all I got for y'all right now, but I have set a personal goal to upload at least 1 video a week, just so we can get uncomfortably close, because let's be honest, those are the most fire-ass friendships. Be sure to click the subscribe button below so that you don't miss out on future uploads from yours truly, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.